What's up? It's your boy Karceno here, man. And let's talk about the NBA and how screwed up this whole thing is. Listen, the trade deadline should never be in the first part of February. The trade deadline should always be at the end of February or March, to be, for example. And the reason why this is because you never want a situation where it's before the All-Star break. See, this is what I don't know how the business deals work in their office, as far as people are afraid to say something because they're going to lose their jobs, because they seem pretty stupid. In other words, a lot of people's brain and elevator or whatever don't go all the way to the top, because it just it don't compute. How in the world could you have an NBA trade deadline before the All-Star break? The All-Star break is the midpoint. So after the midpoint, then you start having a trade deadline come on like right after that. If you do it before the All-Star break, you're leaving the door open for a situation for an all-star player that's supposed to be in the All-Star game, having that person traded to another team in right before the All-Star game. So then what's going to happen? He can't be in the All-Star game because he was selected by this team. Now he might be on another team let's say he went from the West to the East. Who's in the front office making these type of decisions? You're putting yourself in a situation, and people are like, well, they're an all-star. They're not going to get traded. Like, we haven't seen all-stars get traded for all-stars. We've seen this happen. You're setting the stage for something very controversial to happen. You're setting the stage up for that. For there could be a really big issue behind this. But you scratch your head and say, well, why would they do something like this? Why did they move the trade deadline up? Who does this benefit? Who benefits the most? Somebody whose team is old and they want to get new players and they want time to see how everything's going to look and get a chance to blend in together with that team. Who's done that? Oh, the Cavs. So now LeBron has a whole new team, and he has about a month to see what they look like, because they've bumped up the trade deadline. It's disgusting. It's completely disgusting. I hate to keep harping on it, but now more and more you see I'm right all the time. It's just, I got to keep throwing it out there, because there's always that one person who didn't hear and don't know what's going on and think, this is real. No, this is corruption at the highest level. And it makes no sense, because it has a betting line. This stuff should be illegal. The acts that they're using for the league right now it's ridiculous. It's like, we got to try to keep force feeding food down your throat that's bad for you. And what's bad is Cleveland, LeBron, all that stuff is garbage. It's killing the entire NBA. It's killing the whole league. You have teams out here who are competitive, who are actually playing basketball. Promote them. So then I don't have to sit here and talk about this all the time. I don't want to sit around and talk about these bums every day. But you guys ask for it. And because the NBA shoves it down your throat. So I understand it. So I got to remind you every day that this guy's a bum. The team's a bums. And now he traded that whole team away. So now we got to see what these other players are going to do. And in my estimation, breaking down the entire Cleveland Cavalier roster, for example, let's say Well, yeah, it's a blizzard here, and we're blizzarded. We snowed in. I can get out if I want to. But for instance, they got Rodney Hood, Larry Nance Jr., and they have uh, George Hill, and I don't know who else they got. I know they got George Hill and somebody else, but the Rodney Hood, Jordan Clarkson. That's like the main four players they got. Now here's the situation for me. Rodney Hood's a good player. He's a very good player. His problem is Rodney Hood's only problem that he has is injuries. He's not known to be very durable on the court, and Utah is not willing to pay that money. So for Rodney Hood, I knew something like that was going to happen. He's got a lot of potential. He needs to work on his outside shooting. He's a guy that could score 30 one night, and the next night he'll have 12. But for Cleveland, I think he's a much better addition than what they had before. Jordan Clarkson, to me, is the biggest addition that they really needed, because Jordan Clarkson has speed. He's a live body. Him and Nance will definitely help the Cleveland Cavaliers, especially as far as transition and moving the ball. When LeBron isn't in the game, Jordan Clarkson could move the ball up and do what Isaiah couldn't do. He could hit those open shots. He could put pressure on the defense because he's a live body. He's 25 years old. This is what they do. Now, the problem is when him and LeBron's on the court at the same time, how that's going to work out. You got to remember, none of these guys come from a winning standpoint except for George Hill, who's very skilled as a point guard as far as running the point. But George Hill is he's always shown in the playoffs he disappears or he's injured and not really there. So we'll see how it looks when they put together. But as far as this team, I like the players that they got. They definitely gotten better, but it's hard to say they're better than Boston. Boston, their only thing that they're fighting is injury. So if Boston is healthy, then they'll go to the NBA Finals. Period. Are they better than Toronto right now? I doubt it. Even with all this stuff they got. But this takes away from LeBron being great. In my opinion, I think it exposes the fact that he's not great. Because if he's great, then why does he need 15 players all year? Look at the players they had on the roster last year, and look how many people that's been on the team this year. They just got all the players that they got in the offseason. Almost every last one of them are gone. They got rid of, 6 players? Just at this All-Star break. It's like LeBron got a deck of cards. He keep throwing in. Give me 5. Okay. And then nobody on the ESPN, nobody on Fox is really calling him out on it. He's got to have a stacked deck. He's got to have a full house in order to get on the court and play. And then people are talking about he the king. It's like, dog, he got a full court. What superstar athlete has gotten that? So, it's ridiculous. But as far as this trade, as far as the players on the team, to have those pieces, you still got weak links on the team, but I think they did a good job in the draft. Because at the end of the year, most of these guys aren't going to really be there, except for probably Clarkson. You can keep him. But if LeBron leaves, they should be okay. They should have at least a decent time playing. But now it's going to put more pressure on LeBron. Now let's see how you play. Let's see if you really the truth. Let's see if you really good. And what about you? When they gonna trade you?